Okay, so we are... I'm not sure if we're on the plane with draw actually, but our opponent's got a Luris as their companion, so I'm going to pop that there. We'll go ahead and keep this. This hand looks great. We've got Thing in the Ice, which is always probably the card I want to see most in my opening hand. I'd rather see that in my hand than Treasure Cruise. Oh my god, I hope this is in Soul Artifact. Absolutely love in Soul Artifact as a deck. It's so cool. This is actually the deck that I play in IRL when the format first came out, and I wanted to buy a deck, but I didn't want to spend much money because, you know, student and everything, or I was at the time. So I just bought Blue Red Soul, and it's so dirt cheap, and it's just really fun to play. Like, so cheap. The deck basically revolves around, there is a 2-mana enchantment that says enchanted artifact that's a non-creature becomes a 5/5. So you play that on an Ornithopter, and on turn 2, or even on turn 1 if you have a Springleaf Drum, you now have a 5/5 flyer. You put it on an indestructible land, and you now have an indestructible 5/5. You put it on... actually no, I think you can use it on you can use it on creatures. So you can even use it on like the Ginger Brute and make it so that things can't block it, and you just attack every turn for 5 and your opponent can't do anything. There are so many things you can do with that deck. It's really, really cool. I actually love this format. I didn't realize how much I liked it because I've been playing so much, I want to say Historic, but Pioneer just seems like a more fun Historic. I'm not gonna lie. And I apologise if I sound ill. It's because I am. To be fair, I sound really bored, I want to say, or something like that when whenever I make videos anyway. I don't know why, that's just how I sound. Opponent's going to go ahead and get rid of our creature, which sucks, and they're going to play Shadow Spear. Fortunately, they have no threat. And here I think we just want to play this and pieces of the puzzle. Try and set up a big Treasure Cruise if we can find one. Well, there's Treasure Cruise. Reveal the top, put up to 2 instants and sorceries. Well, we'll take the Cruise and the Iteration. Yeah. So our opponent is starting to run out of things to do. They've only got access to 2 mana at the moment, because for Springleaf Drum you need a creature. So they can't even put Luris into their hand yet. Opponent pays 2 to insult artifact on Shadow Spear. So this is the card I was talking about. Enchanted artifact is a creature with base power and toughness 5/5. Also, if you use this on something with counters, then it becomes a base power 5/5 and then gets the counters additional. So it becomes like a 7/7 or whatever, depending on how many counters are on it. They're going to hit us for 5 here. We really need to draw a removal spell for that, because 5 every turn is a lot of damage. So we can go ahead and opt essentially for free here, because we've got 6 cards in our hand. Sorry, in our graveyard, so this will put us up to 7. So if we play the 1 for Delve, we might as well play Opt for 1. Arc-like Pheonix is good. We've got the chart, of course, so yeah, we'll keep that on top. We'll go ahead and Treasure Cruise here. Oh shit, was that an Arc-like Pheonix I just got rid of? Yeah, let's cancel that. And yeah, I really do not want to get rid of this Arc-like Pheonix. We can opt and try and find a land. Yeah. And then we can spike field hazard if we really want to bring back the Pheonix just to block. We don't want that. We draw a mountain. Of course we draw a mountain. We're going to use that as a blocker because we can bring it back anyway. It's also like relatively easy to kill these. Okay, maybe not so much now. We would need 2 Phoenixes and a removal spell. But we can just keep chump blocking it every turn. It doesn't have trample. And it doesn't actually have lifelink. The Shadow Spear gives equipped creature lifelink, but it is a creature. It's not equipped to itself, obviously. So it can't give itself trample and lifelink. And Springleaf Drum, sure. So that would have been a good draw last turn. But I guess we can Pheonix, use the Pheonix to block, and then Lightning Axe. If we're going to do that, we should probably lead off with Treasure Cruise. No, we probably want to lead off with Chart Course and get rid of the Pheonix. No, we're going to Treasure Cruise first. Because if we draw another Pheonix from the Treasure Cruise, then we want to be able to pitch it to the Chart Course. Negate and a bunch of Spy Bluff Canals. And discard a card, we'll go with the Pheonix. What do we want to do here? We can Lightning Axe it, just to bring back the Phoenixes. But then how do we ever kill the thing? Maybe we don't need to kill it. If we can just cast 2 cards every single turn, or even 3 cards every... Yeah, if we can cast 3 cards every turn, we can bring back a Pheonix every single turn, and then use the other one to clock our opponent with, just until we find a thing in the ice. Yeah, so we're going to swing with 1, and we could just use the other one as a blocker. And I've just realised how good Lurrus is within Soul Artifact. Because you can just Soul Artifact on something, if they answer it, you just Soul Artifact the next thing. Yeah, that's the card you have to worry about. Darksteel Citadel is an artifact which is indestructible. So if they cast a Soul Artifact on it, it's very, very hard to answer. Are they just going to get Lurrus here? Yeah. Oh, that is perfect. So we'll play Thing in the Ice. Play the Canal, and I think we just keep up Negate. Is there anything we're really scared of? I guess we can cast 1 Expressive Iteration, but if that's the case, I shouldn't have played the land. Yeah, we're just going to pass here. Obviously, we're not attacking with the Pheonix this time. And when we bounce the Shadow Spear with Thing in the Ice, that will go back to hand, and then in Soul Artifact, I believe we'll go into the graveyard. But then they can lure us to bring it back, so we do need to be careful of that. And they're just going to cast Lurrus, and then I assume play an Ornithopter for free. You might as well, right? Yeah. And what have they got here now? Oh, portable hull. That is a perfect target for our negate. And it should be our turn. There's nothing else they can do. Oh, they've got 1 card in hand and 2 mana up. Spike Field Hazard. Now let's lead off with a iteration. Put one of them into our hand. Will be the Pheonix. One into the bottom of your library will be the Canal, and we'll put the Island Exiled. We'll play the next iteration here. One of them into your hand, that will be the Cruise. One onto the bottom, yeah, the land, and then we'll take the Opt. Probably should have done that the other way around actually, because we know we're going to Cruise this turn, pretty much guaranteed. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and the blue source. And let's go red source. I kind of want to use Lightning Axe on the horror here. Yeah. Discard the Pheonix. Play the island. Play Opt. We don't really need another Opt. 3, 6, 9. Is that lethal? That should be lethal, right? Yeah. Sweet. So sideboarding should be fun with this matchup. What do we want? We need the Lightning Axe, I think, just to answer 5/5s. Probably want Mystical Dispute just because it answers Ensoul Artifact, and we probably want Enchanting Melody as well, because we can just, I don't know, steal their indestructible 5/5, and if it's on a land, then it only costs 2 mana, so that could be good. I think that's it. I don't know if we want Anger of the Gods, because they just get out of Anger of the Gods range, and we don't really care about the Ornithopter until it's a creature, like an actual proper creature within Soul Artifact. So if that's the case, maybe we just get rid of Sweltering Suns and maybe even these. And then we still need to cut 2 cards. Yeah, this is a tough deck to sideboard, because all your cards are so good. So good. I mean, sure, Fiery Impulse does answer Lurrus. But I don't think the way to beat the Lurrus deck is to grind through it. I think it's just to go over the top of them with Pheonixes and Thing in the Ices. We can cut negates because we have Mystical Disputes now. Yeah, we'll go ahead and do that. I don't want to have a handful of reactive cards. We need to be proactive still. Yeah, this hand is fine. We'll go ahead and keep this. It looks like it's only a one-liner, but it's not because of the hazard. I don't know how you play with these in real life. Do you have it either way up you want? Or do you have to use the tick cards like from the old Innistrad and that? Not had a chance to play with these in real life yet. That's how like Magic has just not been an IRL thing for at least for me in the UK. I don't know if you guys have been playing real life Magic that much. Leave a comment in the comment section if you've actually been playing Magic IRL, because the only person I ever see play Magic IRL is Andrea Mangucci on Instagram and on Twitter. Okay, now I kind of want to just Spikefield Hazard this. Yeah. It's instant, so I'm going to pass the turn, keep up Opt. But if they install Artifact on here, I'm just going to straight away Hazard. No, we're just going to get rid of it. Opponent plays another land. And Grafdigger's Cage. So creature cards in graveyards and libraries can't enter the battlefield, and players who cast cards... Oh, sorry, and players can't cast from the graveyards. So basically we just don't get access to Pheonix anymore. And Springleaf Drum, sure. We'll go ahead and Shock, which was pretty lucky to draw. Play Thing in the Ice. And pass the turn. So we don't really have any braids or any way to answer artifacts, which seems like an oversight when the deck was built for this deck. But you know, how common is this matchup? Probably not that common. Another Thing in the Ice. Opponent's down to one card. It's quite likely that it is a removal spell, because I feel like otherwise they probably would have played it last turn, because they've got access to an extra mana, and most of the cards in their deck are just 1 mana. So it could be a removal spell, or it could just be like a 2 or 3 CMC spell. So the options are consider/opt, find a land, play Thing in the Ice. Consider/opt, don't find a land, Spikefield Hazard this. Or we can Thing in the Ice, play this as a land. We need to hit our land drops anyway, so we're going to go ahead and consider first. Do we want Lightning Axe? I don't think so. I think we'd rather just go in the bin. And we draw Sulphur Falls. Play Thing in the Ice here. I just really wanted to hit a 3rd land drop, because otherwise we're just going to fall behind in mana. And with 2 Treasure Cruise in hand, we need to be casting spells. So 1 extra land over the course of 3 turns could be 3 more cards in the graveyard. And when you've got 2 Treasure Cruise, you really want to fuel that. So they brought Lurrus into their hand, and they're just going to pass. Okay, so we'll go ahead, play this as a blue source. We'll lead off with Opt, we might as well. Arc-like Pheonix, we don't really want that anymore, so we'll put that to the bottom. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we're 1 short of playing Treasure Cruise this turn. I am considering just using Spikefield Hazard on the Gingerbrute, regardless of the fact that they can bring it back. just because I want to fuel the treasure cruise, and the Spikefield Hazard is essentially just going to use it almost as like a Lotus Petal, just for the delve. So we draw a Arc-like Pheonix. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards in the graveyard, which puts that down to 3 mana. Sure. Let's just treasure cruise. Get some more action and go from there. So we can Lightning Axe here to flip the Thing in the Ice. If we cast Lightning Axe on Thing in the Ice, the trigger on Thing in the Ice will then go on the stack, resolve first, then it becomes a 7/8, and then the Lightning Axe resolves. So that could be alright, just to hit them for 7. Then they can play the Lurrus, but who really cares if they play a Lurrus when we've got a 7/8 in play? The other option is to wait until their turn, and then end of turn flip this, bounce all their shit, and then we get to untap with the Awoken Horror, but like, I'd rather just get the hit in. Just get our opponent dead. Bouncing their Lurrus doesn't really achieve a whole lot, whereas hitting them for 7 is a huge difference. There's their Ornithopter. And we draw another Thing in the Ice, that's really good. I think what we'll do is just play the Pheonix and swing with both. We could have just played Treasure Cruise for like what? Cost 8 in total, so for 5 mana, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but we then couldn't even Thing in the Ice. Whereas this way we're just putting pressure on our opponent, getting them dead before they can do anything. Darksteel Citadel, so that's one of the cards that concerns me. So now they can Lurrus, play the Ornithopter again, and just make blockers every turn. What are you doing? Play the Ornithopter, it's free. What are you doing? I don't know why they would do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We might as well just do this. And they just concede. Yeah, I really like our opponent's deck, but I just don't know if it's good enough, unfortunately. I wish it was good enough, and I kind of hope it is, and I'm not sure. Anyway, that is now 3-0. Yeah, sweet. Really enjoying this deck. There is a... Oh, that's League. Shit. What I was trying to show you is that there is a Pioneer event coming up in 1 hour and 40 minutes. So I would like to play that. So yeah, on to the next one.